Photoniks. Photoniks. Photoniks.
Welcome to Photoniks, the very first episode. I'm Mr. Daps, and I'm joined by my good friend. Sorry.
No, I'm fine. It's me. It's Clocky. It's the first episode. We have to stumble before we can walk.
And then run? Is that how
And
that
then run?
works?
Oh,
Okay.
it'll be quite a run to get through all these photos. That's for sure.
There we go. Well, tell us, what is Photoniks about, Clocky?
So Photoniks is about looking through Disney photos and history through those photos, seeing what we see, seeing what you see. Be sure to leave comments or likes or talk about what you like. A lot of fun stuff coming up. It's funny. It's the first episode, but it's a very special episode of Photoniks.
I can't wait to see what's happening. And one of the great and terrifying things about Photoniks is I have no clue what's going to happen. We basically have a gentleman's agreement that we are going to make this podcast together, and photos will be shown that we look at and talk about. And beyond that, anything could happen. Sometimes I'll be bringing the photos to the table, but today it's all you. And you did mention comments and stuff like that. Also, ratings are very good for us too. So if you like what you hear and like what you see, let us know by giving us some awesome ratings on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you happen to be listening to this. So should we dig right into this?
Let's go.
All right, let's bring up the pictures.
Oh, there's no photo, but there will be. So we're going to go through a story.
Smiling at me,
right? We're going to go through a story of how I found these photos. We're going to look at 5 photos today. I was up in the Pacific Northwest at an antique store and just barrels of photographs, absolute barrels. And I go, I'll go through and see what I can find. And
how long did that take you?
About 2 hours, because once I found this first photo, I had the sniff and I had to know the answer to that, what that smell was. So here's the first photo. Tell me what you see.
Oh my. I see I need to make my screen bigger is what I see.
So I'll describe the image. There is a graded dock. There is a lot of water. There is a lot of land. And there is what looks to be a speedboat.
With like shark fins.
With shark fins. And somebody in the speedboat speedboating it.
And it looks ridiculous enough that it kind of looks like one of those old, like, I don't know, Bob Gurr photos, doesn't it?
Right. So my question is this Disneyland?
Huh. I'm going to assume, since there's 4 more pictures, that it is.
Correct.
I am now trying to figure out where exactly this is. The thing that's catching my attention
looking at this photo,
is that rail or that walkway in the front.
Right. It is going to be a challenge. I had a 99.9% feeling that this is Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily the photo looked very unique. It still had the 2 little dots. It had the curly edges. So I was like, if I can find another photo from this same set,
okay,
maybe I can tell if it's Disneyland. And so the second photo I found, and I put these in found order, was this photo. And I said, well, this is Disneyland.
Yes,
this is most definitely Disneyland. So we're looking at the Zambezi Miss, the old dock for the Jungle Cruise, guests aboard. It's in black and white, so it's hard to see what it is, but you can see the 2 smokestacks. You can see the just weird grating, not grating, but the baskets out front. So this is the loading dock.
Like, it looks like there is hay or something in them. Like, if you look at the bottom left corner, there's a rock, it looks like, sitting next to them.
Right. So that was photo number 2. And I said, well,
And the jungle is not completely grown yet either.
right.
Like as you're looking back at the skyline, like it's an earlier jungle.
Photo number 1 really lends us to a very specific time for these photos, because nothing on these photos, the only distinguishing marks is on the back. It says A040 for this particular photo. And it's just the photo with the 2, like that's the only, there's no other year, but that first photo really gives us a year. So we'll go to the next photo. Looking at this photo, actually, we haven't talked about what people are wearing, because now we can see what people are wearing. Very well dressed. I think that kid in the front is he wearing a tie?
Formal, doesn't it? Yeah, I was trying. It looks like there's a kid in a tie. It looks like there's a lady in a like a dress suit,
right,
next to him. Which it's weird to me that she's standing up and nobody else is.
Right, and that's not the skipper. So
no, because I can see. I think you can see the skipper right on the very edge of the
right,
the boat,
like the shoulder,
picture, standing up. At least that's what it looks like, and it looks like there's. Am I seeing that there's still people sitting in the well of where you enter?
Yes,
yeah, you can. Yeah. They've got their elbows over the edge of the boat, which I'm sure they loved against the side of the dock.
Right. So then I was 100% sure, and then I found the third photo, which made me 1,000% sure that this was Disneyland, and that's of course of Sleeping Beauty Castle. Cropped a little weird. You see more of the guests, and you see some of the castle. You don't see the crest above the drawbridge, above the entrance.
You see suits, lots of suits.
You see suits. You see a guy carrying a jacket. So it must have been pretty warm, but carrying a jacket, a guy wearing his jacket, kids in long pants.
Looks like.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing to note is the kid is in long pants wearing a leather belt. The shirt is tucked in. So if you think back to our teaser thing, there were lots of untucked shirts.
So this scan of the photo, that's actually, I think, the bottom of his jacket.
Oh, that is his jacket?
Yeah, I think that's the bottom of his jacket. Oh. If you look at
I'm gonna bet it's still got a shirt that's tucked.
Oh,
in.
Yeah, I'm guarantee it. Because even the kid further down, closer to the gate.
Oh yeah, I see. Kind of
his shirt even looks tucked in, and those might be suspenders he's wearing.
Oh, that would be awesome. I also love the people on the left that are looking over the edge of the bridge into the water. What I presume are swans or something.
Oh, yeah, there'd have to be. Or it may not be. We'll talk about that next.
There you go.
So the next photo, I'm assuming is Disney. Now these first 3 photos, definitely Disneyland. This next photo, it's got to be. It's from the same set. It's from the same 5 photos. This, I think, is Rivers of America.
So, my initial instinct just when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Is you used to be able to get a picture of the back, further back in of Tom Sawyer Island, which might be that on the left on the back end. And if we were looking at this picture today from a space that we can't get to because it's just leftover rail track and whatever.
Right.
My instinct is to the right is where the current Indian village is.
Okay.
Because look at how the tree line goes, and
right?
Jogs back like that. It kind of looks to me like where you used to see the Mark Twain. The other thing I love about is we're looking at this is you forget how wide the Rivers of America used to be.
Right. So this is all.
I have vague memories as a kid of it being wide, but not necessarily anymore. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say this photo is all just water, river water, definitely river water, and trees. The thing we'll come back to this photo. This will be an interesting episode because we're going to go back and forth. So the thing about this photo is I want you to see how much growth is here, because this is the only photo that I'm not sure is Disneyland. And same thing with the next one. So water and trees, all we're seeing, no guests, no railings.
And also growth in the water.
Right. So the next photo, yeah, no problem. No. So the next photo also may or may not be Disneyland. Now this is a pool that does not look unlike the Disneyland Hotel pool back in the 50s.
I could see that.
So this, again, from the same set, I assume is the same. All the markings on it, all the look of the photo is the same. This could be the same either trip, because we'll get back to this in a sec. Either the same trip or this is actually part of their Disneyland trip. 5 photos, which is funny because they just got this other album, which could be our next episode, that also has only 5 photos. So a five exposure camera, possibly.
Huh.
So now if we go all the way back now, so this is just 2 people swimming in a square pool, not what the Disneyland pool looks like now, or Disneyland Hotel pool looks like now, but is kind of what it looked like back in the day. If we go back to this first photo, that is of the Phantom boats.
Okay, that makes sense.
So this is where the motorboat cruise was, kind of where the Small World Mall is now, or not the Small World Mall, but the watery area near Small World, and by
it's under where the monorail would be, right?
Right. So Phantom Boats puts these photos sometime between August 16th, 1955 and October 1956. So a very small window.
Wow.
So although I have no year on this, we know it's sometime between October 55 or September 55 and October 56.
Interesting.
Which makes me wonder, although you see the growth here, right? This is first year growth of the Jungle Cruise. It makes me wonder about this growth. Did Tom Sawyer Island have enough time for this, or is this somewhere else in LA? Or somewhere else in California?
Looking at the growth on the tree, hanging off the tree on the left, is that what I'm seeing?
I think so.
I was like, either that smudges or he's looking at a magnifying glass for those of you that are listening. But doesn't it kind of look like the weeping, like the hanging moss or something?
Right. It's hard to say.
The other thing I don't know is how good the river moved back then.
Mm-hmm. Like,
would there be enough movement in the water? Like today, I don't think that growth could grow, or they wouldn't let it in the water itself.
Meanwhile, I'm assuming this could be as late as October of 56. Was a year enough growth for all of this to happen? Could be.
And to be that tall and filled.
Right.
Because those are what do you think? At least 50 feet?
Right. Yeah. I mean, 15, 20 feet. I mean, hard to see without anything next to it, right?
The big one. Yeah. I don't know.
But
that's a baffling picture,
right? Already have our mystery. I'll tell you this: I've shown, although he hasn't listened to it yet, we'll say friend of the show, Doug. I've shown him these photos, and he is also on the hunt to find out if that's the Disneyland pool and if this could be the Rivers of America.
And he would be a good person to
have the contacts.
Yeah. Huh. You wish that you just had like the bow of a ship showing up or something.
Yeah, the tip of a canoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see something white in the middle. Is that just a speck on the picture, or is that a horse?
That is a speck on the picture.
Okay,
actually, that's weird. That shows up more on the scan than it does on my actual image.
Okay, because as I was looking at it, I was like, oh, that could be like a... the white on the nose of a horse.
Right.
Okay, that didn't help.
No, but that stick sticking out, if we found Rivers of America photos from the 50s, that on the right-hand side.
That is the thing I think that will give it away, hopefully.
And the hard part is because Tom Sawyer Island didn't open up for a while. Mm-hmm. So... they wouldn't have been cultivated. They would have just let it grow.
It's hard to believe that it could grow that much that fast. Although we also live in Southern California and, things go crazy. So I don't know.
Right. Huh? So what's your favorite photo from this set?
This one, the castle with the
Castle?
guys in the suits.
In the
like I
suits.
love that. Is just, I don't know, that to me, when I imagine the first few years of Disneyland, this is what I picture is families walking in dressed in their best. Like even now I'm looking more, you see the lady in her cardigan, it looks like, with her purse over her shoulder as her arms in her husband's elbow or whatever. And like this is just such vintage. This to me is what I wish Dapper Day would be. Like not necessarily like super fancy and colorful, which it could be colorful also, but like
dressed up,
this era, dressed up, this type of thing where it's like you're not going to the opera, but you're going to Disneyland.
I think my favorite from finding it first was this Phantom Boat.
I can totally see that too.
Like of things that I try to collect of rare photos, the Phantom Boats, the view liner, the mermaids on the rock, like those to me are and the star on the Matterhorn,
gold.
just gold. I mean, just when I find one, what a great object to have in my collection. So this one for sure, because I think this is my only photo of a Phantom Boat. I've got a lot of motorboats, but the Phantom Boats, this is my only photo.
And it's not something you see a ton of.
No. I mean, a year when we talk about short-lived attractions, Phantom Boats, the view liner.
Yeah, I would have loved to. So there's a train up in Oregon at the Oregon Museum, I think it is, that's basically the view liner, and that was one of my favorite things as a kid. And I was like, oh, but imagine it at Disneyland. It would have been that much better,
right? Imagine, and going on the same track as just about everything else, like just racing along with the Autopia cars.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, in different discussions we've had through the years, it goes to the strength and the power of kinetic energy. And I feel like that was something that definitely was happening.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that is our first episode. Did we just do it?
Did we do it? If you have any questions, let us know.
Absolutely, because we do too.
These images will be available. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Well, these images will be available to our Patreon subscribers soon, and then available to everyone after this episode appears on YouTube and on Spotify and Apple Music, Apple Podcasts,
all those fun places. Yeah,
everywhere.
They'll show up. You're going to put the pictures on, I'm assuming you will, on the Instagram. So you probably want to follow said Instagram,
right?
And then you won't miss any of these fun pictures. And you've posted some other stuff that's really cool too.
For sure. Actually, it's today's Friday. It's Photonik Friday. I should just post one of these as a teaser.
That's a great idea.
There you go.
Let's do it. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this very first episode of Photoniks, the first official episode. And we hope you enjoyed going on this rabbit trail of what were the 5 photos, the 5 phantom photos.
Right. If
we were doing like episode titles, there you go.
Right.
The
Phantom Menace. Episode 1, the Phantom Menace.
Would that be that store that you found these pictures?
Right.
I don't know. It does make you wish you could have found even more and pieced more of their trip together. But anyway, hope you've subscribed. Leave us some comments with questions or just observations that we might not have caught. And as always, feel free to send us pictures. We do have an email address that you can find in the description, or we'll eventually figure out a place you can send them to. But thanks for listening. You got anything else to add, Clocky?
No, we'll see you next time.